This is the last lecture on soft confrontation, and the next series of lectures will be confrontational. But these are soft when you encounter a true believer of whatever system. So let's say I'm engaged with a free market fundamentalist and he wants to tell me the truth. And so I say, I'm willing to listen to you if you will give me equal time when you finish, because I respect your belief structure and I want you to just see if you can honor mine. So please go ahead, and I will not interrupt. I ask you not to interrupt me, and I won't end with corrections of whatever you say. We'll just leave it at that when I finish. Do you agree to that? This will honor me and honor you. So the man goes into his speech and talks to me about the free market, how wonderful it is, how big government is the problem, how we have caused all kind of problems with regulation which have hurt innovation, and we need to let laissez-faire capitalism reign, and we shouldn't be afraid of the freedom that comes with just letting the market solve things. And so I listen respectfully and understand. And so then I say, all right, can I speak now? Can you honor me in my thinking? And he nods, so I begin. I want you to know that I greatly agree with capitalism. I have read Adam Smith and think he's a very smart man, the Scotsman. I've read Friedrich Hayek, the Austrian, and I know about Austrian economics. I've read Ayn Rand and understand her hatred of any socialism due to her childhood in Soviet Russia, when her father was kicked out of his pharmacy on 2 different occasions and lost it. And I know Milton Friedman. In fact, I've acted as Milton Friedman in a play that I taught on economics. So I do know the source of your system, and I greatly agree with parts of Smith, Hayek, Rand, and Friedman. I think they're very correct in terms of capitalism. Capitalism provides more goods to more people. It unleashes entrepreneurial creativity, and that's super. It manages the workforce in an excellent manner. It encourages innovation because of competition, so you have a continual improvement of goods. It improves distribution. I remember when the Russians tried pure communism, and people who were going to get paid without distributing, and the trucks sat idle as the drivers drank vodka. And so capitalism, where you can hire and fire, does improve distribution. Capitalism has moved societies from poverty to wealth. Profit motive increases motivation terrifically. It's a very mighty option, and I have no doubt that the theorists that I mentioned have the best system for organizing economics in any society. So I've studied economics and taught economics and continually read about economics. But I've also studied history. And I think about history in this country, how the Caucasians have been at the top for several hundred years. And any person of color has been minimized in terms of power, in terms of their thinking capabilities, in terms of their contribution to capitalism, for instance. So Caucasians have the power. The Native Americans lost their property. They, as the Caucasians came with land grabs, the Mexicans lost the southwestern part of the country and half of California because of land grabs. And in each of these cases, the Caucasians got land and moved into power positions. So I study history, and I study it objectively. And I'm interested how in the 21st century, Caucasians still have the power, the white people. You know, they got the banks. A black couldn't own a bank up until the mid-20th century, if even then. The Caucasians owned the major positions in insurance and major industry, and power does not allow someone else to take its power. They will fight for their power. And so we have, going on in the 21st century, in South Africa, which is the same situation, where whites were in control of all the major institutions of capitalism, that we have in the United States, where whites and Caucasians are in control of the major institutions of capitalism. And they get that by inheritance. I think of Charles and David Koch, who are advertising to keep Caucasians in power in every local school board election so they can get rid of the public schools, because Milton Friedman didn't believe in them. Milton Friedman also didn't believe in national parks. And I don't think he would try and sell in New York City the selling of Central Park, because Milton Friedman was a fundamentalist in terms of, let's call him a market fundamentalist. He was also a genius in other aspects of economics. You can see him on YouTube, by the way, and he's very argumentative. He immediately puts down any person in a sarcastic manner, any person that disagrees with him. So I study history, and I know we have a situation, because the only thing that I can see that can help the minorities is the government. And I know that the free marketers dislike big government. But how else can you have kids before age 6 go to Head Start programs if the government doesn't help them? And that really helps and gives hope and beginning intelligence to people in the ghettos. And so I study history, I understand Caucasian power and how that is causing a lot of problems in the 21st century. And I also study human nature. And I know that one characteristic of human nature is to accrue goods, to feather the nest, to feed the birds, the little baby birds. And so one part of human nature is greed, and we have to be aware of that can get us in trouble. The Great Recession of 2008 is frequently blamed by the fundamentalist marketers on people who bought mortgages without a down payment. Now, they don't say that the banks encouraged that. They don't say that George Bush, who was president, had been talking about the ownership society for 4 years, for 6 years. They don't say that the banks took these worthless mortgages, bundled them together, and then sold them around the world as securities. So a person would buy a bundle of mortgages for $1 million or so, or more, and thought that he or she was getting a security that was safe. Instead, we blame the victim, at least one group does, and say it's their fault because they were getting mortgages that they couldn't afford. So, I thank you for listening to me. I just wanted to give a different take, and I respect what you're thinking, but I hope you will also respect mine.